The Jumblies by Edward Lear. They went to sea in a sieve they did, and a sieve they went to sea, in spite of all their friends could say, on a winter's morn, on a stormy day. In a sieve they went to sea. And when the sieve turned round and round, and their friends cried out, "You'll all be drowned," they called aloud, "Our sieve ain't big, but we don't care a button, we don't care a fig. In a sieve we'll sail to sea." Far and few lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue. And they went to sea in a sieve. They went to sea in a sieve they did. In a sieve they sailed so fast, with only a beautiful pea-green veil tied ribbon by way of a sail to a small tobacco pipe mast. And all of them said who watched them go, "Oh, won't they soon be upset, you know, for the sky is dark and the voyage is long, and happen what may, it's extremely wrong in a sieve to sail so fast." Far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green, and they sailed to sea in a sieve. The water it soon came in, it did. The water it soon came in. So to keep them dry, they wrapped their feet in a pinky paper all folded neat and fastened it down with a pen. And they spent the night in a crockery jar. And each of them said, "How wise we are! Though the sky be dark and the voyages be long, we never can think we were rash or wrong, while round in our sieve we spin." Far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. And all night long they sailed away, and when the sun went down, they whistled and warbled a moony song to the echoing sound of a coppery gong and the shades of the mountain brown. "O Tim below, how happy we are when we live in a sieve in a crockery jar, and all night long in the moonlight pale we sail away with a pea-green sail and the shade of the mountains brown." Far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green, and they sailed to the western sea they did, to a land all covered in trees. And they bought an owl and a useful cart, and a pound of rice, and a cranberry tart, and a hive of silvery bees. And they bought a pig and some green jackdaws, and a lovely monkey with lollipop paws, and a sausage roll to go with their tea, and 40 bottles of Ringbo Ree, and no end of Stilton cheese. Far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. And in 20 years they all came back, in 20 years or more. And everyone said, "How tall they've grown, for they've been to the lakes and of the Torrible Zone, and to the hills of the Chankly Bore." And they drank their health and gave them a feast of dumplings made of beautiful yeast. And everyone said, "If only we live, we too will sail to sea in a sieve, to the hills of the Chankly Bore." Far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. The Dong with a Luminous Nose by Edward Lear. When awful darkness and silence reign over the great Gromboolian plain through the long, long wintry nights, when the angry breakers roar as they beat on the rocky shore, when the storm clouds brood on the towering heights of the hills of the Chankly Bore, then through the vast and gloomy dark there comes what seems a fiery spark, a lonely spark with silvery rays piercing the cold black night, a meteor strange and bright. Hither and thither the vision strays, a single lurid light. Slowly it wanders, pauses and creeps. Anon it sparkles, flashes and leaps, and ever as onward it gleaming goes, a light on the bond tree stems it throws. And those who watch at that midnight hour, from hall or terrace or lofty tower, cry as the wild light passes along, "The Dong! The Dong! The wandering Dong through the forest goes! The Dong! The Dong! The Dong with a luminous nose!" Long years ago, the Dong was happy and gay, till he fell in love with a Jumbly girl who came to those shores one day. For the Jumblies came in a sieve they did, landing at eve near the Zemry Fid, where the oblong oysters grow, and the rocks are smooth and gray, and all the woods and the valleys rang with the chorus they daily and nightly sang. Far and few are the lands of the Jumblies. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. Happily, happily passed those days, while the cheerful Jumbly stayed. They danced in circlets all night long to the plaintive pipe of the lively dawn, in moonlight, shine or shade. For day and night he was always there, by the side of the Jumbly girl so fair, with her sky blue hands and her sea green hair. Till the morning came of that hateful day when the Jumblies sailed in their civil way, and the dawn was left on the cruel shore, gazing, gazing forevermore. Ever keeping his weary eyes on that pea-green sail on the far horizon, singing the Jumblies' chorus still, as he sate all day on the grassy hill. Far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. But when the sun was low in the west, the dawn arose and said, "What little sense I once possessed has quite gone out of my head." And since that day he wanders still by lake and forest marsh, singing, "Oh, somewhere in valley or plain might I meet my Jumbly girl again. Forever I'll seek by lake and shore, till I find my Jumbly girl once more." Playing a pipe with silvery squeaks, since then his Jumbly girl he seeks, and because by night he could not see, he gathered the bark of the twangum tree on this flowery plain that grows. And he wove him a wondrous nose, a nose as strange as a nose could be, of vast proportions and painted red, and tied with cords to the back of his head. And a hollow round space it ended, with a luminous lamp within suspended, all fenced about with a band stout, to prevent the wind from blowing it out, and with holes all around to send the light, and gleaming rays on the dismal night. And now each night and all night long, over those plains still roams the dawn, and above the wail of the chimp and snipe, you may hear the squeak of his plaintive pipe, while ever he seeks, but seeks in vain, to meet with his Jumbly girl again. Lonely and wild, all night he goes, the dawn with the luminous nose. And all who watch at that midnight hour, from hall or terrace or lofty tower, cry as they trace the meteor bright, moving along through the dreary night. "This is the hour when forth he goes, the dawn with the luminous nose. Yonder over the plain he goes, the dawn with the luminous nose."